What's up, gang? Welcome back to the LOM podcast. I'm your host, Jay Lyons, of course. And happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. We've been waiting not very long, about 25 days to be exact, from Halloween. But it's here now. And it's kind of crazy how fast time is going these days. It's just like, for me, it feels like Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away still. I can't believe it's tomorrow. But that's kind of the good thing about this time of year. It's like, holiday after holiday after holiday. So it's just party, get wasted, party, get wasted, party, get wasted, I mean, that's what we do at this time of year. But yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. It's, it's hovering over us like this dark cloud, reminding us that we need to make a shit ton of food tomorrow. Unless you want to be proactive, then you can start getting food worked on today. You can start prepping, or maybe you can make some dishes today, and so all you gotta do tomorrow is heat shit up, then you can just relax for most of the day tomorrow. Watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, watch Ricky Stenhouse, perform his new album that you're never going to listen to. But yeah, I mean, this time of year, if I had apple cider, I would be drinking it, but I don't. So I'm drinking hot chocolate, which I guess kind of works for this time of year, Christmas season's coming around, so you got the hot chocolate. So I hope you all got some good plans for tomorrow, or maybe you're fulfilling those plans today. Maybe you decide to get the Thanksgiving party started early, which I don't blame you. I would want to do that too. But whatever your plans are, I hope they're good. I hope you have fun. Probably most of it involves getting together with your family, because that's pretty much the only thing that this holiday is about, is getting with your family and eating food. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm visiting my family for Thanksgiving, but also movies to watch. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Thanksgiving movie. I think that's the only Thanksgiving movie that exists. Unless you count Charlie Brown, which, I mean, Charlie Brown's not really a movie. It's like, little short TV show episodes, okay? Not really movies. They're fun to watch, I just today I was looking for cards because somebody's birthday's coming up, and so I'm trying to get them a card, and I saw this Charlie Brown card, and Charlie Brown has like the yellow shirt with like the black zigzag line. Yeah, okay, I saw this card where his shirt was red. I've never felt more uncomfortable in my life. It just looked weird. Like, what? Charlie Brown doesn't wear a red shirt. It's yellow. It just made me realize like how Charlie Brown only wears yellow. And so it just feels so weird seeing him wear a different color. You know what I mean? So anyways, so this past week, my friend decided to have a Friendsgiving thing, which if you don't know what that is, it's literally in the name. It's Thanksgiving with your friends. And this is my first time ever going to one, because honestly, I thought they were pretty lame, which it still is, but I did have fun. Like, I don't want this to be a diss on Friendsgiving, because like it is fun, but it's just kind of like, Friendsgiving. Like, it's such like a cheesy name as well. Like, just, I don't know, just call it a party, dude. Like, I don't know. Just like every time I saw like, I've been seeing for years people post like photos of them doing like, Friendsgiving, and they're posting photos like, look, I'm at Friendsgiving, hanging with my friends. And it just, I was always like, I always cringed whenever I saw that shit. I'm like, dude, that's so lame, And I don't mean hanging out with your friends is lame. It's just like the idea of, just calling it Friendsgiving, I think, is really the thing that makes it lame, because like eating a lot of food with your friends, like that's not lame. Like that's pretty normal, honestly. But just like, I don't know, calling it Friendsgiving just makes it lame. It's like, instead of Christmas, you call it Friendsmas. It's like, shut the fuck up. Easter, you got Friendster? I don't know. Friendsgiving, Halloween, Friendoween. That doesn't sound right. Anyways, yeah, I had this Friendsgiving thing. I got together with a bunch of my friends, and my friend, she's like, "Hey, when you guys come to this thing, make sure you bring a dish." Which, like, yeah, if you don't bring a dish to like something like Friendsgiving, that's kind of a dick move, if I'm being honest. Like expecting the person hosting to make all the food. I know that's essentially what Thanksgiving is, but still, when I have Thanksgiving with my family, I still chip in and help with food. Like I don't rely on the host of the Thanksgiving to be like, yep, go work, let me relax. I always you always chip in and help, right? So she said, preferably homemade, but if you suck at cooking, which like, dude, I don't want to get any diseases or anything. So if you're not good at cooking, buy something from the store. So, me trying to flex my cooking skills, I made a homemade dish, made by yours truly, okay? I made sweet potato casserole, which, sweet potato casserole has to be like one of the best holiday dishes, for Thanksgiving, and shit, we even have it for Christmas. It's that fucking good, dude. It's literally dessert for dinner. Like, if you don't know what sweet potato casserole is basically just mashed sweet potatoes with like brown sugar on top. It's like so good. It's more involved than that, but that's the premise. It's so good, And so I'm like, dude, I'm about to bless all y'all, and I'm gonna make sweet potato casserole. So I made that shit. Wasn't very hard because me, I'm a seasoned pro at cooking. Kids at culinary school don't have anything on me. Okay, I'm just a natural born chef. Anyways, yeah, I made that. I was really proud of it. It came out really good. Not to pat myself on the back or anything, but all my friends told me it was like, they're like, "Holy shit, is this heaven?" And I'm like, maybe, could be. I don't know. I've never been to heaven, but I'm sure it will be just like this. Sweet potato casserole just everywhere. Anyways, yeah, people brought a lot of food. We had somebody brought mac and cheese, which it wasn't no generic ass mac and cheese. Like, dude, it was like gourmet shit. You know what I'm saying? Like big pasta. Okay, we had 20 different cheeses. Okay, we went and we raided France. Right? Those are the cheese motherfuckers. Right? French people. They're all about the cheese, right? I think. I was going to say Italians, but Italians is bread. I guess French is still bread too, but, Italians is like bread and wine. French is like bread and cheese, right? Or crackers. No, not white people. Talking about the food. Anyways, yeah, so, which I was also surprised, my friend who was hosting it, she made a full-on turkey. That was her homemade dish, full-on turkey with stuffing, and honestly, I wasn't expecting what we got. I was expecting people to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring French fries or some shit," and then for the turkey or whatever, maybe we'll have turkey sandwiches. That's what I was expecting. So I was pleasantly surprised when I walked in and I see a full-ass turkey sitting on the counter, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I got you. I like where this is going." So yeah, everything was really fucking good. We had unfortunately we didn't have pumpkin pie. I kind of thought that was gonna be a default as a dessert, but we had apple pie, which is still pretty scrumptious. A vocab word for you guys, scrumptious. Oh, and then we had vanilla ice cream as well. So we had the apple pie a la mode, which I thought that was sort of a common thing, but people were like, "Oh, can we just heat up the apple pie and then put the ice cream on top?" And I was like, "Yeah, a la mode." And they're like, No, have a hot apple pie and ice cream on top." And I was just like, whatever. I thought that was sort of a, that's a common dessert. I see that all the time. Like when I go to restaurants, they're like apple pie a la mode. So I kind of thought everyone would know what that is, but apparently not, you know? Maybe I'm just that cool, okay? I'm cultured. Yeah, we had apple pie. My friend, he also bought red velvet cake, which, I mean, that's like my favorite cake ever, okay? Everyone out here likes the generic chocolate cake, okay? I'm special, okay? Red velvet cake for the win. I mean, I don't know how you could like not like red velvet cake. I don't know how that can not be your favorite cake. I mean, it's just like perfect, okay? The icing, the cake, just everything. The colors. I mean, red and white. I mean, come on. Red is a great color. Imagine liking blue. I'm just kidding. I like blue too. Blue is like, I don't want to say it's like my second favorite color, but I don't really have a favorite color if I'm being honest. Like, it kind of changes depending on like, I don't know. I kind of base my favorite color based on like clothing, right? Stuff that looks good on me and shit that I like. And I mean, typically the colors that I gravitate towards is white and black. So I guess those would be my favorite colors. But I don't know. It's just like whenever someone's like, "What's your favorite color?" It's like, dude, I don't fucking know. You know, like they all slap in their own ways. You know, they're all pretty good in their own ways. I don't really care. You know, the only color that I just detest is barf green. Okay. Regular green, I'm cool with that. Lime green, that's cool. Barf green, no. That's just no. Why would you ever, where would you ever use that color? Like there's no use for it except for coloring barf. So why would you even like that color? Why would you even be fond of that color? Like that's just a color that it seems like everyone should just hate because it's just gross. But anyways, so yeah, I had the Friendsgiving thing, and then also I went to Notre Dame this past weekend for a football game, and it was pretty cold. It was in the low 30s, you know, which, you know, people in Canada are probably like, yeah, that's a summer day, but you know, as a Florida boy, okay, that's really cold, okay? Honestly, that's Titanic level of cold, which it is. I looked it up, okay? Not a Titanic, it was 31 degrees outside, okay? So, but yeah, so I was hyped for it being cold because I went to a football game earlier in the year and it was warm, which, dude, I still popped off with my, you know, summer fits, but, you know, there's just nothing like winter fits, fall and winter fits, you know, and you can like bust out the layers and shit. So I was hyped. I was like, dude, I'm about to go all out. Okay. Going here. So, you know, I went up there. I brought like denim jackets. Okay. I brought my NASCAR jacket. Okay. I got this Notre Dame varsity jacket, which it's kind of like the cliche jacket that pretty much anyone who goes to Notre Dame has. Okay, it's just like, you know what a varsity jacket is, right? It's not like a bomber jacket, but it's got like the fleece center and then like the leather sleeves and shit. Yeah, so I had that, right? And I had a big shamrock on it. It said Notre Dame on the back, you know, looking good as fuck, right? And, you know, I got like jeans. You know, I brought a turtleneck because, you know, some days you just want to be fancy, you know? I brought hoodies, light gray hoodies, you know, because light gray hoodies go with like a denim jacket, like a light blue denim jacket or like a dark blue denim jacket or like a dark blue bomber. Like, dude, a gray jacket is like a great like mid layer, you know, because it just goes with pretty much anything. Like you can wear it with a red jacket, you can wear it with a black jacket, you can wear it with a blue jacket. Like it just goes with everything, you know. So like if you don't have a gray sweatshirt in your wardrobe, get on that shit, okay? Because that is like the most versatile layer that you could ever have, and it looks good in all ways. but I'm talking casual. When you get into like that fancy shit, like sometimes you could pull it off, but just try not to. If you want to get into that fancy shit, where you're wearing like overcoats and all that stuff, which I wasn't wearing any of that, okay? It was purely casual streetwear, looking good. So yeah, I flew up there. The flight up was amazing. Had no issues, okay? Except, okay, actually I do have an issue. I take that back, okay? I was on a plane, and I've never been on a plane like this before, okay? I sit down in my seat, and sometimes I just sleep and listen to music. Sometimes I play games on my phone or something like that. But most of the time, I download like a movie for the trip, right, on my iPad, and I watch the movie on my iPad. So, when I go on a plane, I take you put the tray table down, and then you put your iPad on the tray table, and you watch the movie, right? Because, I know some planes have like the screens on the back of the seat in front of you, okay? But, dude, the headphone jack for those screens is so shitty. Like, one time I really wanted to watch the movie Tenet, and so it was on the plane. So I'm like, you know what? Might as well give it a shot. So I watched it, and dude, oh my God, the audio was terrible. I even tried watching a different movie because I thought maybe it was just like a thing with Tenet, and it wasn't. It was just shitty. And so I just avoid watching movies on like airplane screens, okay? Because the headphone jack 9 out of 10 times just sucks, okay? And plus, I don't really carry wired headphones anymore, Not to flex or anything, but it's just like I have AirPods. And so like using wired headphones is just not really a thing for me anymore, And so like there's multiple times when I've been on a plane and there's a movie I want to watch, but I can't because I don't have wired headphones. So I have one pair of wired headphones now that I only use when I go on like a plane or something like that because I have no other use for it, right? So anyways, so I had this movie downloaded on my iPad, and when I get on the plane, I'm not even kidding. You know what the tray table looked like? The tray table was it was the size of my phone. I'm not even kidding. It was the size of my phone. It was like this little tiny thing, right? It was like this big. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This isn't a tray table. This is a ledge. This is a ledge, dude. What are you talking about, the tray table? This is a ledge, dog. Like, I can't even put a drink on this tray table. That's how small this thing is. I'm not even kidding. It was like the size of my phone. And I'm like, how could you even, like, defend this? Like, what is your reasoning behind this? Right? And it was on a large plane, okay? It wasn't like a tiny jet, okay? It was a big plane, like an average size plane, I'd say. 3 seats on each side. So it was a pretty average sized plane. I've been on planes like this before. I've never had a tray table like this tiny little thing. And I'm like, what is this? I couldn't even put my iPad on it. It would fall off. So I'm like, screw this. So I just flipped it up, and I had to watch the movie on my lap, which wasn't that big of a deal, but it's just, it's the principle, okay? Giving me that little shitty ledge as like a tray table. Like I said, how do you defend that? Like there's no reason that you can give me that would make sense, okay? Because it wasn't like you didn't have room. Okay, you had a shit ton of room. Every other plane has had this before. Okay, and it was no old plane either. It's not like this was like a plane from, I don't know, the 1950s or something. Okay, this plane looked brand spanking new. Okay, everything was fresh. It's like, how do you defend having this little tray table thing? Okay, but anyway, so yeah, I flew up there, and it was pretty cold. Even though I had layers on, like, I have like a long sleeve shirt on. This was like one of my fits. I had like a long sleeve shirt on, then I had like a gray hoodie, and I had the denim jacket, and I was wearing, like long underwear with jeans, and I had leather shoes on, and dude, I was still pretty cold. And I was like, this is nuts. You would think having like 3 long sleeve layers on, you'd be kind of warm. But it was manageable. Like I wasn't like shivering out of my mind. Okay, it wasn't like I was on the verge of hypothermia or anything like that. But it's just like it was a little chilly. And I'm like, dude, I thought I'd be like neutral. Actually, like when I was prepping my outfits, like when I was packing, I was actually kind of nervous that I would be too hot in some of these fits, because like my game day fit, I had like 5 layers on, and I'm like, because I was gonna be outside most of the day. My fit the first day, I only had 3 layers because I was gonna be going like in and out, of like being inside and going outside. But I was gonna be inside most of the time, and so I wanted to have 2 layers on the outside that I can easily take off if I get too hot when I'm inside, right? Thinking logically, being proactive about this shit. But anyways, yeah, I was like, dude, what if I get like hot in this thing? Because like it's only gonna be in the 30s, right? It shouldn't be that cold, right? Because it's not like I haven't had experience in the cold. I lived up north for 2 years, okay? And so like I know what 30 degrees feels like. I know what below 30 degrees feels like, okay? I know what 40 degrees feels like. I've lived through this shit. Okay, so like I totally thought that like I knew what was going on going into this thing. I was like, yeah, I understand the cold. I know what 30 degrees feels like, but I did not know what 30 degrees felt like. Okay. But anyways, yeah, so game day comes, and like I said, I had like 5 layers on. I had like I had the turtleneck on, and then I had a t-shirt over, like a Notre Dame t-shirt, and I had like a zip up gray hoodie. The gray hoodie I wore the other day was like a sweatshirt. This was like a zip up jacket, but they were both light gray because, like I said, it's like the most versatile layer. And I wore the zip up one because it kind of gave the fit a little texture. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'd zip it up like 3/4 of the way. You know what I'm saying? Just to I don't know, just to, like I said, give the fit a little texture. Right? And then I had the Notre Dame varsity jacket over. And dude, I even had like a scarf and shit. And it was like, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, dude, who are you? Who are you? The most gorgeous man on the planet? I think so. But anyways, yeah, and then I had jeans on, and I had these nice boots on, these nice leather boots, and I was like, dude, like this fit is like lit. This fit is just like no one can compare, okay? And like like I thought was gonna happen. No one did compare. When I got onto campus, I'm seeing like other people's fits, and like looks like that they just threw on whatever they had in their closet, and I was like, yeah, I am on a completely different level. My ego is just really showing right now, right? Can you feel my ego? Anyways, so like I said, the game day fit, I wore more layers because I was going to be outside for a longer period of time. I even had like these nice ass gloves on and shit. Dude, I can't get over how good I looked. But anyways, but even then, like I was still slightly chilly. But I was only chilly when like the wind came. Like the wind is like really the killer. When you're up north, when you're in the cold. Okay? Like if there's no wind, if it's just like 30 degrees, no wind, that's completely fine. I could walk around in just a t-shirt and be fine, honestly. But it's the wind. It's when the wind blows that really gets you, because just like absorbs right into your outfit, and you're like, I'm cold. So that was what was happening with me. But like, dude, I couldn't show I was cold because had to flex for the ladies up there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no bitch. But yeah, so it was still pretty cold. We get to campus, and we decided to go into the bookstore. So we're like, we're looking around. I was looking for a rugby shirt because, dude, I like rugby. The rugby shirt is like, it's not like an essential item for like your wardrobe, but it's always been like an item that I've kind of wanted, And if you don't know what a rugby shirt is essentially a long sleeve polo, but it's like a little thicker, So like people would wear it during the cold, I'd say. And so I was looking for a rugby shirt, and like, middle of the winter, nobody has a rugby shirt, which I don't know how that's possible. Because like even at Notre Dame, like the sport rugby was going on, like it was in season. So it's like, how do you not have merch for the sport that's going on right now? It's like going into football season and going like, yeah, you know what? We don't have any football merchandise. It's like, but football is going on right now. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but we only have soccer. The wrong football. But anyways, yeah, so we're checking out the bookstore and didn't find any rugby shirt, which sucked. But yeah, we're like walking around the rest of campus. And like I said, I'm not showing that I'm cold at all because, I got to flex. I ain't no bitch. And at one point, because like we did get some stuff at the bookstore, but obviously, like I said, we didn't get the rugby shirt because they didn't have any. Still don't understand that. But we went back to our car and we dropped off the stuff that we bought at the store. And like when we're coming back, this guy like whips around in like this gas-powered golf cart, just like almost runs over us, it feels like. And he's like, yo, you guys need a ride? And we're like, sure, why not? So like we get on the golf cart and he's like, okay, where are you guys going? And we're like, okay, we're going to the Dome, which if you don't know, Notre Dame is one of their famous landmarks is like this big golden dome, which is made out of real gold. Well, it's gold plated, but it's real gold. So we're like, hey, we'll just go there. And so like, dude, this guy's like whipping around. Dude, I was in the back seat. I thought I was gonna like fly out. Honestly, this guy's like going crazy. And then, considering how fast we were going, the wind didn't really help with my cold situation. But like I said, I ain't showing it because I ain't no bitch. So I'm sitting there in the seat like, because I'm terrified that I'm going to fly out the back. But, I can't show that I'm cold. So I'm kind of like, just acting like this is all normal. But anyways, yeah, he gets us to the Dome and we're walking around some more. And then, game time comes around and we find our seats and it was fine. It was a great game. Notre Dame won like 55-0. We were playing Georgia Tech, which sucks for Georgia Tech. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't really like games like that when it's like a complete blowout like that. 55-0. And like, yeah, like I'm a Notre Dame fan. So like, obviously I was happy that we won. Okay. And I was happy that we beat the shit out of them. But at the same time, as a viewer of the game, it sucked because it's like, after the fourth touchdown or so and like Georgia Tech not getting anything, every subsequent touchdown, I was just like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Just more points. I don't give a shit, And it like, we got touchdowns like so fast because Georgia Tech's defense wasn't really that good. And like, we kept sacking their quarterback. So like they weren't making any forward progress. And so just like as a viewer of the game, it kind of like sucked the fun out of the game because it's like, it's not a close game. It's not like, you're not like nervous about like if your team is actually going to win, It's not like they're going back and forth, each team getting touchdowns, and it's like a very close game. Like those are the good games. Like, obviously you want your team to win, which yes, I still wanted Notre Dame to win, but I would have at least liked, seeing Georgia Tech maybe get like 35 points, just to give the game some tension, So it makes like each touchdown like that much better because it's like, yes, we're still ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like you still get hyped about it. Like I said, after the fourth touchdown, like Notre Dame gets another touchdown and like I didn't even stand up and cheer. I was just like, let's go team, But anyways, yeah, it was a good game. Got a lot of touchdowns. And then after the game, we went to this restaurant called like Fiddler's Hearth or something like that. It's an Irish pub, a very small place in South Bend, but it's really fucking good. And clearly everyone else thought so too, because that was like the place to be that night. It's just like everyone was there, like not just Notre Dame fans, but just like average citizens and Georgia Tech fans. Like everyone was at this bar. And so when we got there, they're like, oh, it's going to be like a 2-hour wait. And this is like 7:00. Okay. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But, our group decided to wait it out. And luckily, we only had to wait like 20 minutes, something like that, because like they were just telling everyone 2 hours, just like by default. Like you walk in, you write your name down on their list, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be 2 hours. And that was actually kind of a good thing because it kind of deterred people from wanting to eat there. So a lot of people who were ahead of us in the list had just like left and went to a different restaurant. And so they just went like boop, 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 us. And we got a table real fast. And I was like, hey, I ain't complaining. Because honestly, like I said, since it was 7 o'clock, 2 hour wait, I'm like, I don't really feel like eating at 9 at night, But yeah, we got a table. It was awesome. This like band came out. And dude, I'm not even kidding. There was like this band of like 3 people. It was like a fiddler player, like a drum guy, but it wasn't like a drum set or anything like that. He had like this handheld drum with like this mallet thing, and he's like hitting it. And then this other guy had like a guitar, right? And since it was an Irish restaurant, I just said, it would be funny if they played one of the Irish songs from Titanic, the movie. If you remember in the movie Titanic, when Jack and Rose go to the third class party or whatever, since third class was mainly made up of like Irish people, there was a band down there playing a bunch of Irish music, right? And so I was like, hey, it would be funny if they played one of the songs from the movie. And I kid you not, they actually played one of the songs from the movie. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. I didn't even know you guys would even know about that song or even like know how to play it. But like they did, and they popped, dude. They popped off. I was like, yeah, this is good. I'm vibing with this. I was about to get up and start Irish dancing. The only thing is I forgot I don't know how to Irish dance. So that would have looked really embarrassing if I just went up there and like, what do I do? Okay. All I know is you kick your legs a lot. But anyways, yeah, they were awesome. And then like the day after I flew back home, and the flight home was considerably worse than the flight up. I'd take the tiny tray table compared to what I got on the way back. Okay, so on the way back, I get on the plane, and like my way up, like I said, it was like 3 seats on each side, right? And so I had an aisle seat, and on the way up, I had an aisle seat, and there was a guy at the window, and the middle seat was empty, right? Which was great for me because that means a little extra room for like my arms and my legs because I'm a tall boy. Okay, so airplane seats are not my friend. Okay, so on the way back home, I'm sitting in the plane, I'm in the aisle seat, and once again, there's someone at the window, and the middle seat is empty. And I was like, this is awesome. Same situation as the way up, and even better, I had a full-on tray table this time. I didn't have no little ledge. I had a full-on table. So I was like, okay, this flight is already 20 times better, okay? But I spoke too soon because as I'm waiting for the rest of the people to get on the plane, right? They say, oh, make sure you're sitting in your assigned seat because we have a full flight. And I'm like, oh shit, that means someone is sitting next to me, right? So now I'm hoping that whoever sits next to me, they missed their flight, right? They forgot about it. They missed it. They were late or something. But no, some guy came on the plane and like sat next to me. And this dude was like 7 feet tall. Okay. Like I said, I'm tall, so airplane seats are not my friend, but like, I can fit my legs in the leg space. It's kind of uncomfortable because like I can't move that much. Okay. My knees are like this close from banging into the seat in front of me, but I can comfortably sit there. This guy being like 7 feet tall, he could not have his legs in his area. So he's like sitting like this, and his leg is like halfway into my space. So I'm sitting like this, like I'm hunched over. I got like half a seat because not only are his legs like this into my area, but like he was a wide dude. Okay. And so like he's sitting like this and his shoulders and arms are just like slamming into mine. And I'm just like, seriously? This is what I have to live with for 2 hours. Okay? So I was already like, fuck this flight, you know? I'm not having fun. But like, you know, he fell asleep during the flight. And so I was like, this is my chance to reclaim my space, right? So I just like pushed him out of the way because, you know, like I said, I ain't no bitch, but like I ain't trying to fight. I ain't trying to start a fight on a plane, okay? I've seen way too many videos of people fighting on planes, and it's just like I don't want to be one of those people, right? So, you know, I was like, I don't want to start anything, okay? But yeah, the guy was passed out, so he wasn't getting noticed. So I just like shoved him out of my space, which, you know, he didn't seem to mind because he was still asleep. So I was able to reclaim my spot, but for the first 20 minutes of that flight, I was like not having fun at all, right? But yeah, you know, like the thing about traveling, especially like on planes, is just like it's so stressful. Like the whole thing, you know? And like, you know, I've been flying for years. I've flown many, many times, like more than I can even count, okay? And like I worked hard to get myself to zone 1, okay, when it comes to boarding. So I don't have to like fight for space on like the overhead compartment because like I'm one of the first people on there and I get to just throw my suitcase right into one of those bins and like I'm good to go, right? But like over the years of me flying, the pre-boarding group has gotten larger and larger and larger. It's almost like half the plane is pre-boarding. You know? And so by the time I get there for zone 1, I'm back in the situation as I was when I first started flying, right? I'm fighting for space in the overhead compartment. And I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, like, I mean, I understand some of the people who go on there, like, you know, handicapped people. Yeah, I get that. They need more space. They need more time to, you know, get situated, you know. Military people, yes, thank you for your service. Good job, man. But like, then they just like also add like a bunch of random shit, like, you know, people with kids, you know, which I don't get because it's like, dude, I was a kid and I would fly with my parents and like I didn't need any extra time to get on that plane. I get on a plane just as fast as I do now. Okay, you just walk on, you throw your stuff in the overhead compartment, or in this case, if you're a kid, your parent throws your shit up into the overhead compartment and you just sit down. That's all you got to do. So like, why? Why is like, oh, if you have kids, get on the plane, you know? And then like one time, like when I was flying back home, some guy like walks in, no kids, okay? No military service, okay? He wasn't handicapped. It was just a random average dude, just like walks on the plane. And I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, who's he? Why does he get to pre-board? Like, do you like? It kind of makes me wonder. Do you have to have like some sort of pass to pre-board? Like, you know, like on your boarding pass, they like for when it comes to security, they have like TSA pre, right? That lets the person know who's, you know, checking your boarding pass that this person is TSA pre, right? So that's how you make sure people who don't have it get in the normal ass line, okay? And still do all the normal stuff. Okay, but is there like a pre-boarding stamp? Like there has to be. For like boarding, it has to say pre-boarding. But how do you get cleared for pre-boarding? That's what I want to know. You know? Because I kind of want to take advantage of that. Because like I said, like it's just a normal average guy just walks on the plane. And I'm like, he seems to have nothing that pertains to pre-boarding. But anyways, yeah, and then like once you even when you get on the plane, like the stress doesn't stop once you sit down. Like yes, you just made it, you passed the overhead compartment war, okay? Now it's time for who the fuck is sitting next to me, okay? Because you know, it could be anyone, okay? And like honestly, the person sitting next to you can make or break the flight. Like, you know, giant man who sat next to me, okay? He broke the flight because I was uncomfortable the whole time. But yeah, like, because when we were boarding, like I said, I'm sitting in my seat and I was thinking there was going to be no one next to me, and I was hyped about that, right? And when the lady said that this was a full flight, I was like, okay, who's sitting next to me? So the whole time I'm sitting in my seat and I'm seeing people walk down the aisle, and I'm like, okay, is it this person? Is it that person? Who is it? Who's sitting next to me? Okay. Because also I'm in the aisle seat, so I have to like get up, right, to let the person in. And so like I'm sitting, and less and less people start coming in, and at a certain point there was like no one else coming in, and I was like, oh, maybe the person next to me missed their flight, right? But then 3 more people walk in, right? And it was 2 people, and then the guy who actually ended up sitting next to me. And so like they're walking down the aisle, and I see in front of me, I see there's like a few empty seats in front of me. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're in those front seats. But then they start walking closer to me, and I start freaking out. I was like, no, please don't sit next to me. And all 3 of them walked past me, and I was like, I think we did it, because I was at that point, I was pretty sure that those were the last 3 people of the flight, because I'm checking the time and we're supposed to be taking off soon. And so I'm like, these have to be the last few people, right? And then the tall ass dude walks by me again towards the front. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Why'd you walk past your seat? How'd you fuck that up? Right? And he sits in the exit row, because there was a row with like 2 empty seats. So he sits in the exit row, and I was like, I don't care. No one's sitting next to me. I'm good to go, right? But then flight attendant walks up to the guy and starts talking to him, right? And I'm like, okay, what's this? What's this about, right? And then I hear her say 19B, which I was in 19C, right? And so I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This guy is sitting next to me. And he gets up and he sits next to me, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me, dude. Like why do I have to get paired up with this giant ass dude, okay, who's like taking over half of my seat? Why couldn't like a good looking girl sit next to me? Like that would have been fine, But no, like some giant ass dude had to sit next to me and had to take over half of my seat. I don't know how the lady at the window, I don't know how she lived through it, because like if he was taking over half of my seat, he had to have been taking over half of her seat, unless she was taking over half of his, and so it was just sort of like a domino effect. But I'm pretty sure it was him. He was the big dude, okay? But yeah, it's just like, there's some flights where like I enjoy the flying experience, because like everything goes off without a hitch, and you get to relax, all this stuff. And then there's some flights like, the 2 I experienced this past week, where it's just like, what the fuck? But honestly, I'd take the tiny ass tray table over the flight I had back home, because like at least then I could put my iPad on my lap and still watch the movie, and it doesn't really. It didn't really change the viewing experience, okay? Because, the table is like right above your lap anyways, so, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I hope if any of you guys are flying for Thanksgiving, hopefully you guys don't get a terrible experience like I did. But then again, it's a holiday, so flights are going to be crazy. Every flight is going to be booked, so you're probably going to have a shitty experience. Sorry, but just warning you. Unless you're... unless you can afford a private jet, then you can just flex on all of us for being too poor. That's one of the things that bothers me when like there's like some people I follow when like I'm not talking about celebrities, okay? Because I don't really follow that many celebrities. I think I follow like 3, okay? But anyways, like when the people like they post their photos of them like with like their PJ, it's like, dude, why you gotta flex like that, Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for hanging out. Whatever you guys are listening to this on, whatever you guys are listening to this on, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and leave a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. All that shit really helps me out a lot. And follow me on social media at RealJLions and at Lion on Main on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you.
I don't know. Do I?